Morning, lovely Wildhearts. It's Lisa here. How are you doing? Today's reading is for March 2024. It's to tap into the energies for the month ahead. Welcome back to my channel for those of you returning, and for those of you that don't know me, my name is Lisa Parks. I'm an HSP, an intuitive coach and writer, and I teach highly sensitives to journal with tarot cards to unlock their intuitive and creative gifts so you can discover your true voice. All the links of how you can work with me one-to-one and my courses and my cards are in the description box below. But for now, let's get on with today's message. As I come into this reading, I get a sense of tiredness and fed upness, and I guess we are coming to the end of winter. March is the beginning of spring, and springtime is when things start to blossom and bloom. But I think we need some help with our energy to get us to that place. So let's have a look and see what the cards have got to say. I've used a number of decks and I've pulled them off screen before I came online because that's much easier. But if we need to pull any cards while we're here, I've got my decks with me. I don't use tarot cards to predict the future, really. I just use them to tap into the energy of the collective, and also I use my intuition. So what helps me connect to your energy is by hearing that the reading resonates with you. So as we go along, if what I'm saying resonates with you, can you just drop an emoji in the comments below? A heart one is normally the one that lets me know. Thank you. And of course, if you like this video, give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more readings. Okay, we really are ready to start now. We've done all the housekeeping. Oh, let yourself receive. Oh, look, she's having her hair done. That reminds me I need to dye my hair today. I've bought a new colour for my hair. It's rose gold. So we'll see how that goes. Allow others to give you loving care. Receive without guilt or apologies. So when we're not in the energy of receiving, we're in the energy of doing and giving. And I want you to think about how you're using your energy at the moment. Are you the one that always does the organising? Are you the one that always does the giving and the caretaking? Are you the one that always tidies everything up and cooks and makes sure everyone else is all right? I think it's time for you to let other people do that for you. Now, lots of us find it really hard to let that love in, to let that energy in. We're more comfortable in a state of doing. I think, if I'm honest, it's because I feel more in control and that's more familiar to me. Have a think about why you're always doing. Sometimes we're trying to outrun pain or avoid being with ourselves. Sometimes we're just treating ourselves the way our parents treated us when we were growing up. So if you had a mother or father that was always working or was always busy and didn't sit and play and spend time with you, then maybe you don't know that you're important and that you're fun to hang out with, and so you don't hang out with you, you don't spend time with you. What do you see when you look at that card? I noticed that the mermaids are sitting in the water. Water is emotion. So I do think you might be trying to outrun pain or not sit with uncomfortable feelings. I think a telltale sign that you're not tuned into or paying attention to how you feel, or you're not in the body, is that you feel anxious. So you're all up in your head, what if this happens, what if that happens? Or you've gone back into the past and you're going over, did I make the right decision? Should I have said that to so-and-so? Why did I do that? Making yourself wrong. The voice of our inner critic is quite brutal, but it shows us that we're triggered and it shows us that we're in a space of fear. And in order to receive, we need to drop down into the body and we need to be in the heart space. So a little bit of healing for you on this video. Just take a moment to feel your feet on the ground beneath you and close your eyes. And I want you to place one hand or both hands, if you like, over your heart. And I'd like you to take a deep breath in and release. And as you breathe in and out, you put yourself into a state of allowing. You're opening up your energies. You're opening up your heart to say, I'm ready to receive. Whilst you breathe in and out, and while you've gone within with your eyes closed, just turn your attention to your body and notice if there's any tension. Notice if there's any tightness, any sensations in the body at all that would indicate that you're clenched and that your energy is contracted. To be receptive, we need our energy needs to be in a state of openness and expansion. So at the moment, I've got not a very nice feeling in the pit of my stomach. It feels like heavy rocks. And I notice that I feel tired. My skin feels quite tight, actually. Although I've just got up and I'm having a cup of tea, so when I've had a shower, I can put some moisturiser on and take care of myself. I feel like this is a nurturing card, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, let's look at the next one. Priorities. Building blocks for life. Yes. So this reminds me of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So at the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we have our basic needs, which are safety, and then shelter, food, sleep, just our basic needs. And in order to get up to here, which is self-actualization, we need the basics. We need a strong foundation in place. So I feel this card is saying, prioritize you, put you first. This is the month where you put you first. What do you see when you look at that card? I see that if you put yourself first, that you're going to be held by spirit, by these big angel wings, that universe will support that, will allow you to rest in the universe's love. And the inner child needs to know that they can rest in the arms of a good enough parent. So a good enough parent would make sure that you were safe, would make sure that you were fed, watered, rested, would also make sure that you were having fun, because play is the language of the inner child. And I've been having fun recently. I've been painting in my art journal, and if there's time at the end, I'll share with you the painting that I've done. I'm not the best painter in the world, but I do finger painting. So I just get water and I get water blocks, those blocks of paint, and I just dip my finger in the water and smush on the page and then take it from there. And it's messy play, isn't it? And for those of us that grew up in homes where everything had to be perfect and orderly, it's really interesting to see what comes up for the inner child when you start to get messy with the paints, making a mess everywhere. Your inner critic will probably fire up and tell you that you're doing it wrong. But you can't paint pictures wrong, because they're your pictures, and creativity is the purest form of self-expression. So it's you bringing yourself to the page and you showing the world who you are. So yes, it's time to put yourself first. These are lovely cards, aren't they? What have we got here? We've got, you are awesome. We've got more water here in the background. For me, this is the card of acceptance, of self-acceptance. So do you have a belief that you have to earn love? You have to be doing and achieving and functioning to earn love, instead of just accepting that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, just by being you, you are totally lovable and awesome. Can you take out your diary or your journal and write a list of personality traits, not achievements or accolades or things that you've done, but a list of personality traits that make you awesome? Are you kind? If you're an HSP, you'll be thoughtful, considerate, empathetic, probably very generous with your energy and with your spirit. You are probably very creative. You're probably a daydreamer. Let's have a read and see what this one says. It says, your greatest relationship is the one you have with yourself. Build it, strengthen it, praise yourself. Share what makes you proud. Your beaming delight will help others shift from glass half empty thinking to heck, I'm pretty awesome too. So I feel like this is saying, yes, it's time to come back to yourself. Prioritise yourself. Come back home, be in your body. Notice how you're feeling. Notice what you need and take care of that. And notice if the inner critic fires up and says, you're not awesome. You know, you've got a spot on your chin. You need to lose weight. You're boring. You lack confidence. You're not good enough. Like, what does the inner critic fire up? Maybe you want to replace the word awesome. I find that that's a bit of an Americanism, which is fine if you're American. And it's not judging or criticising Americans at all. But in the UK, British people are much more reserved. Culturally, it's a cultural thing. And we may be uncomfortable with that word. So you might want to change that to you're brilliant, or you're good enough, or you're okay just as you are. And notice that the hands are reaching out. So I don't know if some of you need help with this. If you need my help, you can book a one-to-one session. I have got a really good package, which is a self-care booster for 30 days of prioritising your self-care. Just remembered that. So that might be helpful. But maybe there's a friend that you can ask for help, or maybe there's a family member that you can ask for help. But I'm seeing these hands reaching out, and again, asking for help can be vulnerable. It can not feel safe to ask for help. What happened when you were a child and you asked for help? Were you ignored? Were you told that you were making a fuss? Were you told that you were a drama queen, that you were too much? And how your parents responded to your bids for connection, for you asking for help, which is what they are. They're bids for connection, for connecting to other humans and trusting that other humans will be there for you, is often then how you play that out in your relationships in your adult life. And that's a pattern that obviously doesn't serve you as an adult. So perhaps these hands are reaching up and just releasing that into the water. Maybe you could buy yourself some flowers. It's spring, isn't it? The daffodils are coming out. I'm looking at that yellow flower at the top of the page. Look, the sun is blooming here in the background. The spring is coming in. You are coming into full bloom. Maybe it's time that you recognised your awesomeness, your good enoughness, your lovability. Perhaps an old version of you's died, but you're still kind of energetically stuck in that version of you. But actually, you are blossoming and growing. And sometimes it's good to look back and see how far you've come and notice that you are different. You are not that wild heart anymore. Let me just take a slurp of my tea. Oh, I can see what card's coming up next. I know this one. Oh, it's going cold now, my tea. Don't like cold tea, like it warm. Embrace your sensitivity. Look at that lovely deer. The deer with the roses. I'm drawn to the rose bush. Because if you're sensitive and you're sitting in that rose bush, you're going to feel those thorns, aren't you? What energy are you sitting in? Recognise that your sensitive temperament, that your sensitive nervous system needs to be energetically in a space with safe people, kind people. You need lots of downtime, you need lots of alone time to recharge your batteries. You're very impacted by your environment. And I have done a video on here called Energy Hygiene for Highly Sensitives, and I recommend that you have a look at that. What do you see when you look at the deer and you see the words embrace your sensitivity? Many of us are taught that our sensitivity is a weakness, that you're a wuss if you're sensitive, you know, that you're a wuss or a pussy, like you're not a strong person, but actually sensitive people are incredibly strong. incredibly strong. The world needs more sensitivity and more empathy and more compassion and kindness. Your sensitivity is the sacred gateway to your intuition. It's that special receptive radar that picks up energy and signals. In fact, your sensitivity is one of your greatest assets, there you go, and the key to your survival. The more you connect with it, the more miracles and synchronicities you attract. So energetically being aligned, or living life from your values, from what's important to you, what matters to you. And in particular, I'm thinking about the people around you. So we become like the 5 people that we spend most of our time with. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4 roses on. There's 4 roses there. I thought there was 5. But we could become like the 5 people that we spend our time with. Who are those people? Are they takers? Are they giving? Do they want to help you? Do they treat you like you matter? Are they kind? Are they your biggest cheerleaders as you move forward in your development and in your healing? Are they on your team, or are they threatened by your growth? Do they tell you that you're awesome? Do they tell you how great you are? Do they pay you compliments? Do you let those compliments in? Do you even notice those compliments? But if you're around people that are critical and negative and that are, as I like to call them, bucket dippers, if you're around bucket dippers, then your sensitive nervous system will be impacted by that. It will also be impacted by harsh, and it will also be impacted by other people's trauma. So if you're a clinician or a healer or a therapist listening to this, please take care of you and know that when you go into sessions with clients, that you must zip up and protect your energy. You must ground your energy and cleanse it afterwards. I know we all know this, but do we always do it? I'm going to hold my hands up and say that I don't always do it. I do most of the time, but some days when you've got back-to-back clients and you're busy, you don't always do it. When you enter into session with a client, you enter into their energy, you enter into their aura, and being in their energy, it can impact you. Like being in your energy of trauma. Trauma is like the thorns in the rose bush. It can hurt you. It can hurt you. It can trigger off your stuff. So maybe this asking for help is, if you're a clinician, that it's time to go and get some supervision, to look at what your clients are triggering in you. But it's very common that, like frontline workers, so even if you're a nurse or someone that's a service provider who's in the care industry, that we can get what's called tertiary and secondary trauma. So that's why it's so important that we take good care of ourselves and we recognise our limits and our capabilities. I don't mean that you're not limitless, you don't have limitless potential, but I mean recognise when your cup is empty, recognise when you've reached the edge of your rope, recognise when you need to take care of you. But your sensitivity is what makes you an excellent healer, because you have that ability to tune into and probably transmute negative energies that your client is holding. I know I do, but it can be exhausting and draining if you are not practicing self-care. Not telling you off. I'm saying it to myself as much as I'm saying it to you. Right, another slab of the cold tea. Right, what's next? What have we got next? Number 14. That's my birthday, 14th of February, Valentine's Day. All the red roses. It's the self-love, isn't it? Thorns. Weave together the crowns you deserve. Oh, look, it's back to the roses again. I think roses are symbolically, the roses are the sign of Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, the sign of femininity. But this is talking about worthiness. Weave together the crowns you deserve. So maybe, if we go back to this receiving card, it's knowing that you're worthy of receiving help, that you're worthy of spending time with, that you're worthy of fun and play, that you're worthy of all the good stuff. You deserve joy, love, creativity, abundance. What do you see when you look at this card? I'm drawn to the fact that there's 2 adults and a child in this card. And again, I want to say that I feel like it's the inner child that needs to know that it's safe to receive. If as a child you had parents where you had to have all your attention on them, where your focus was always external because you were caretaking their emotions or you were helping them in the home, you were doing lots of physical labour, that's what we call the parentified child in healing, in psychotherapy. And the parentified child is always the one that's there for other people but finds it hard to be there for themselves. So it is safe now for you to weave your crown, step into your queen energy, and know that you are worthy of loving. You're worthy of love, you're worthy of receiving. The universe can't send it to you if you don't open up your heart and let it in. And if you're always busy doing stuff for other people, there is no space for the new to come in. And again, we go back to your environment. What sort of space are you sitting in? Is it a space that's open and soft and gentle? Is it a space where the universe can come and plonk all that good stuff in your lap? If you're on the run all the time, it's like, I can't catch you, you're running away from me, stay still. But also creating a nice bed of roses or a nice nest for the good stuff to come in. Oh, I like that. Something about these roses, isn't there? Maybe you need to go out and buy some flowers for yourself. I'm thinking I need to do that today. 33 is a master number. Nostalgia. Focus on the here and now. Yes, in order to feel safe enough to receive, we need to be in the present moment. When you don't feel safe and you start thinking, oh, I'm lazy, or I need to do that, or I haven't done that, oh, I need to be there for that person, or I feel guilty if I don't do that. When you're up in that headspace, you're not in the here and now. You're triggered. You're up in the headspace. Look, she's not paying attention to what her friend's saying. She's all up here thinking about what she needs to do, or she's off daydreaming. The nostalgia in the tarot is the 6 of Cups. That is the card of the inner child. So when you're up in your triggered state and you've disconnected from reality, you're in the energy of the inner child. Maybe there's longing there for something from childhood. Perhaps that's how you fill your cup up, doing the things that bring you joy. As I said to you, I've been painting, and that's a way of connecting into my inner child. Messy play. Maybe you need to go out for a coffee with a friend or a mentor, or book an appointment with your therapist and talk about why it's hard for you to down tools and sit with and be with yourself, why you're always on the go. Yeah, I like that card. I like being in coffee shops as well when I'm working, when I'm writing, because I feel like as an empath you absorb the energy of the people around you, or you can observe what's going on around you, and that can provide good material for your writing. But I have about a 2-hour tipping point of being in a public space, sometimes 3. And then it gets a bit too much for the old nervous system and I need to come home, come back to my cocoon. Cocoon. Right. Oh, another one of these, right? Wait. Oh, look, there she is, back in her cocoon. That's me sitting on the sofa watching Miranda. Don't rush into action right now. Bide your time for better results. Yes. Don't keep doing. Move into this state of receiving and allowing and letting the universe bring to you what it's been trying to bring you. It is a cocoon. It's like she's in one of those big clam shells, the back of the sofa. She's missing a hot water bottle and a weighted blankie though, isn't she? How do you like to cocoon? How do you like to hold yourself in a space of receiving, like a mother would hold a child in its arms, embracing it in a warm hug? Drawn to the green in this card. Green is the energy of the heart chakra, of the heart space. And we have some of the green moving into this blue as well. There's tinges of green. I don't know if you can see it. I don't think you can. At the top, around the edges, there's tinges of the green. Back to Metatron. What does Metatron want us to know? Oh, look at that. Healing, pause to receive. So here's the thing. When you're on your healing path, processing deep gunk, pain from your childhood takes up a lot of energy. It takes up a lot of energy. And we can really become fatigued and tired very easily. Now, if you're running around focusing on everyone else, because that's what you did as a kid, remember you focused on that caretaker, if you're always having to tend to other people or put out fires or get involved in other people's dramas, then you are not going to be able to let this in. It says healing, pause to receive. So there's definitely healing here. But you will be incredibly tired purely from that deep processing of feelings. Now, highly sensitive HSPs process things on a deeper level and they feel things on a deeper level than someone who's neurotypical. So you really do need to take that time out, and acknowledge that your sensitive nervous system has different needs and feels things deeper than neurotypical people. Look, the universe wants to send you all this beautiful healing, wants to rain it down on you, all the colours of the rainbow. These represent all the different chakras. So the red one is your root chakra. This is your third eye, the purple one, your solar plexus. There's the green for your heart chakra. He wants to balance and align your energy and help you shift some of that pain and that hurt from childhood, help you release some of that grief, some of that shame, some of that anger, some of that rage. So allow it, let yourself receive the healing. Receive, I think, is the word for March, receiving. I shall have to write that down because I'll probably forget to put it on the video when I put it up. Right, and here's some tarot cards just to further cement our messaging. Here we have the Hierophant. I'm going to pull that light across a bit more. That's it. The Hierophant. Tradition is important, but it doesn't have to be everything. Yes, you've got to stop doing what we've always done. We've always been rushing around like a headless chicken, or like a blue-ass fly, as my nanny would say. Then, look, and you're always serving other people. You are not here. You're not Cinderella. You're not a slave. You're not here for other people. Be here for yourself now. Be the person you needed when you were growing up. This reminds me that you had to take care of your parents who were really children trapped in adults' bodies. I call them chadults. They're not fully individuated, responsible adults. You had to grow up too soon before you were ready. You don't look very happy about that, do you? Look at her face. She's like, you two there. You don't have to be of service all the time. You don't have to be on all the time. You can down tools and rest. Again, there's more healing in the background here with all the potions and the crystals and the candles. Light a candle. Sit quietly. Sit with your journal. If you find it hard to sit with yourself, sit with your journal and listen to this reading and do some intuitive journaling on what I'm talking about here. If you go to the Journal Me playlist, it explains to you how to freefall journal. And I also have a whole course called You Got the Love, which is 30 days of intuitive journaling. Do that for 30 days and you'll come back home to yourself. So this is the Hierophant. Yeah, the Hierophant is about tradition. So it's about breaking rules. So this is also making me think that, maybe as a child you weren't allowed to play and sit still. Like all the jobs had to be done first. I don't know about you, but like after I've eaten my supper, I can't sit down until I've loaded up the dishwasher, washed up, wiped the surfaces down, put everything away, and then I make myself a cup of tea and I come and sit down, and I could never go to bed and leave all of that in the kitchen, but maybe I should just leave it all in the kitchen and see how my nervous system responds to that. It would probably have a shit fit, my inner child, because the fear rises up. So remember, the fog stands for fear, obligation or guilt. Fear, obligation is shame, and guilt. Anything that we had to do out of fear, obligation and guilt, it triggers off our nervous system and we go, oh God, I feel really guilty, or I feel like I might be punished if I don't clear up after myself. Interesting that, isn't it? What comes up for you when you think about breaking old patterns, breaking cycles of behaviour, breaking what's done before you? The patriarchal world, which we seem to be shifting out of now, but it's a slow shift, is you've got to try harder, you've got to work harder, you've got to keep your foot on the gas, you've got to hustle, hustle, hustle. Whereas this new world that we're moving into, new age, new world, whatever you want to call it, it's the age of Aquarius, is a much more receptive and open. It's like oxygen mask on the aeroplane. You take care of yourself, you align your energies, and like a magnet, you attract to you what's in alignment with you. So if you're in the energy of giving, giving, giving all the time, pushing, 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 you're going to attract that energy back to you. Does that make sense? Oh, I also was thinking when I look at that card, maybe you need to treat yourself. Maybe you need to invest in yourself and show yourself that you are worthy. Treat yourself to some healing. Have some Reiki. Have a session with me. Buy a new tarot deck. Buy a new journal. Buy a nice scented candle. Treat yourself. Treat yourself. Investing in ourselves is a way that we can heal our worthiness wound. Oh, this one is reversed. Oh, we know what this one is. This one's been coming up a lot. This is the Three of Swords. It's okay to cry. The Three of Swords, if you can see on her book there, you've got three swords. I don't know if you can see. You've got three swords in the heart. The Three of Swords is the card of heartbreak and trauma. These are all trauma responses that we're looking at today. These are all ways that we had to cope with things when we were a child, but as an adult, they are not serving us. They are exhausting us. They are depleting us. They are robbing us of our joy. And it's time to let go of those old patterns and do something different. It's time to step out of our comfort zone. And as we heal, we release those stuck feelings. And I talk about this a lot on here, but we're very good, wild hearts, at avoiding our feelings sometimes, at running from our feelings, at not allowing our tears to fall. And our tears must fall in order to wash away the pain. It's also our body's way of trying to regulate our nervous system. So if you sit with yourself, that fear, that shame, that guilt, that sadness, that grief is all going to rise up to the surface. And that's why I'm saying, maybe you do need someone to sit with you in your pain. Maybe you need people around you to support the space for that inner child so that those tears can come. The star is the healing card. Have faith that healing is in the forecast. Yes, healing is coming. Healing is coming. The star card is the card of Aquarius, actually. So this again talks about us being in the age of Aquarius. We are in a very healing space where lots of people are awakening and being brought to their healing. So if you are new here, or you're just realising that the world is not how you thought it was and it's completely different, then welcome in. You're very welcome here. So what do you see when you look at that card? She's holding herself. She's giving herself a hug. It's reminding me of the bilateral stimulation that you do, which is called the butterfly hug, where you put your arms across your chest and you tap opposite hand to opposite shoulder, or hand to opposite shoulder, alternate tapping to calm the nervous system down. So yes, you are going to get triggered when you start to put yourself first. It's going to open up those wounds. But if you can sit with those feelings and release them, and you can find a different way to be in the world, then healing is yours. There's the star. Healing is yours. Oh, I like that. What a lovely reading. So I hope today's reading resonated with you. There you go. There's a bit more healing for you. If you want to accept the healing from this reading, pop a lovely spring flower emoji below. Give it a like. Maybe pop a rainbow or a star. And I'm wishing you a lovely month of March. I hope that you will be in a space of receiving, and that you may heal, and that you will be well and joyful and content in your Wildheart world. Thanks for listening. I'll see you again next time. Bye.